What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going today? I'm the Digital Ham, and I posted a video. You're gonna have to pardon me. My truck is really fucking loud. I posted a video a couple days ago talking about the 2020 Shelby GT500 and kind of my opinion on what Ford could have done better and what exactly we got out of the whole reveal of this vehicle. And to be absolutely completely honest with you guys, we didn't get very much, and I went into kind of great detail telling everybody exactly what my opinion was, and the failures of Ford to make sure that when they're going to release a vehicle that they do it in a fashion that does not leave people wanting for more, meaning all the questions that are pertinent. When we're talking anything horsepower related or sports car related, fast cars, everybody cares about horsepower, and that's one of the things that Ford, as of lately, since the GT350, the Ford GT, they really had a struggle with releasing the information on time. Not to mention when they released the 2015 Mustang, they did the same thing. They did not release that. They said it's going to be over 400 horsepower. And at the current time, it was like at 412, 415. And then it was like a couple months right before they released the vehicle to go to the showroom that they went ahead and told everybody, okay, well, it's 435. And that was quite a long time ago. Now, we are now 4 to 5 years into this process of them coming out with the new Shelby GT500, and it sucks that through the entire process of them going in and doing all their research, they never thought that they needed to release the numbers on the day of the launch. And pretty much I'm just going to clarify some things that I said that maybe I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on the assumption of what I was going to get out of that reveal, which in the back of my mind, I was like, well, Ford's not going to reveal the numbers. I was hoping and praying they would, because they had an immense amount of time to do, and develop this vehicle. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's just Ford. Everybody else will release their numbers, but Ford won't, because they're jackasses. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. So there are some rumors going on about the leaked photo that was leaked back in August of 18 last year that showed some of the numbers, and people are now starting to put the two to two together and say, you know what, doesn't look fake, this looks for real. And I have a couple issues with that, because I want to point out some of the things. For one, they talk about his 373 gearing, and that to me is not really super groundbreaking as far as of all of the gear ratios they could have gone with. The 373 gear ratio is actually pretty common as far as sports cars, fast cars, stuff like that. That gearing doesn't really surprise me much. Moving on to the carbon fiber drive shaft, that's one where it's like, okay, take it or leave it. 9 times out of 10 to cut the weight due to the fucking supercharger, due to the added aero that they were going to be adding to the vehicle. They needed some way of cutting the weight, and a drive shaft that's carbon fiber, for one, is stronger, for two, it's lighter weight. It's a little bit more on the expensive side, but I didn't see that being, I don't see that as being, okay, let's stamp it, it's official, that piece of documentation is legit from Ford. Okay, so we have that. Let's talk about the fact that people are talking about the 7,500 RPM, which that really is, that one I have to give them credit on. That one's pretty good, 7,500 RPM. If you look at the closest resemblance to this motor, which is the Illuminator XS motor that Ford makes, it's a crate motor. It's a 5.2. It is a cross-planed crank. It is not a flat plane. And that car, or that motor, I should say, is around 8,200 redline. So, okay, I give them credit on that. There might be some legitimate information there. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty of why I think that this info that's on this document is not correct. I'm going to say that they probably had a lot of leaked information, but they went ahead and started adding in and filling in the gaps of what they didn't have with assumptions. First of all, 720 horsepower. I don't see that happening. There's no reason for Ford right now to be producing a number for the horsepower, because right now they're not even doing service manuals on this vehicle. I mean, yeah, we all saw specs of, leaked of what the motor looks like before it came out and all that stuff. But there's not any service work that's going to be done on these vehicles yet that they need to be prepping people on. So there's no real reason for them to have a horsepower number. And of all of the stuff, guys, that they talk about in this leaked document, the one biggest thing that we came away from the whole reveal was the one thing left off of that sheet, which was a dual, clutch transmission, automatic transmission. I think that's retarded. Guys, if we're talking about motor, we're talking about transmission. We're talking about the complete and utter drivetrain. Why is that missing off of this sheet? That's retarded. That tells me right off the bat that they had no fucking clue. That's why I'm saying the person filled in the blanks, okay? If it was a leaked vehicle from Ford, and this was a data sheet that was legitimately 100% Ford related, you would have seen some kind of statement in there saying it's a dual clutch transmission, automatic transmission, 10-speed, automatic transmission, whatever. You would have seen that. We don't see that anywhere on that sheet. That is a dead giveaway to me that is not the actual thing. You know that Ford has been working with Tremec for a very long time. If this is the case, first, we already have a platform, we have a chassis, we have a body that we can put on it. All of the rest of the framework for the vehicle comes off of the drivetrain and the chassis. And the chassis is already done, guys. They had a chassis, a rolling chassis that's ready to go. They have body work and all that stuff that they already have, say, 65% of the job done. But that massive amount of information that you need to drive from is from the chassis, or from the drivetrain. So I don't understand why that would be lacking off of a sheet that's supposed to be, a data sheet. It says drivetrain right there. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So there are some things that are correct in that statement that are from that sheet that I think people are jumping to conclusions. Second of all, I don't see any reason why Ford would announce a number on a piece of paper, but then have to go back and change it in time. Now, could this have been a sheet that was only supposed to be for internal use? Absolutely, and that's probably what it was. But here's the issue I have. Why are you not going to have the DCT on there? What? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. So where I want to give it credit, I have to take some credit back because it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not a viable reason. I don't see any reason why Ford would be putting out numbers if they don't know the specific horsepower. So that's that. Let's talk about some of the issues around the horsepower. I'm not going to sit here, guys, and do this whole thing where we, put out something that's misleading so that people get clickbait. And I'm not saying that about I'm just saying there's certain people that are saying, oh, the horsepower is revealed. No, it's not. No, it's not. And even if you told me it's 720 and that sheet was correct, I have other guys like chief engineers sitting here saying, no, that's not the case. We're still working on the horsepower. So the car is incomplete. Let's just be honest. It's still in the developmental stages. And I want to take and conglomerate all of this together. Okay, we have to remember what Ford has given us. I'm not talking about other things that, are just guesses and stuff like that. For one, I remember in 2015, back in August of 2015, there was 2 vehicles spotted. It was on Horsepower Kings, which, like I've said in previous videos, not everything that you can take off of their insights are correct, okay? I'll be first one to say that. However, we have information coming from two vehicles on a drag strip where they said it ran a 1098 at like 128. Okay, there's no Mustang in production right now, and I'm going to say production because the Mustang has, the GT500 is not a production vehicle at this point in time. It's still developmental. It is still not going to be hitting production lines probably until the middle of this year, okay, to make sure that it's going to be out in the fall. So this vehicle that they were testing that was running 1098s, 10.9s and at 128. There's no vehicle that I know of. And I've looked, trying to find bone stock 350s, 356, 350s, 350Rs, and bone stock, none of them will run a 1098 out the box. That's just, those numbers are, in my opinion, they're going to be for something that's supercharged, pro-charged, or something, turboed. I don't know, but it's not a stock vehicle. There is no vehicle right now from Ford that will run a 1098 bone stock. Now, the GT, the 18 GT is getting, dangerously close with the, automatic 10, the automatic 10-speed transmission, which is a phenomenal transmission. But, so that happened. That was back in August of 15. Okay. Then we have in January of 18, we have the two gentlemen, one from Shelby and the other one from the marketing, Ford Performance marketing director. I can't remember the guy's name, but you have him sitting there saying venom kills demons, right? So he makes that grandiose statement. Then you have what I put more emphasis on, not what he said, the venom kills demons, but what the other gentleman said. The gentleman from Shelby America, where he said, I put an emphasis on the plus. 720 horsepower is not plus, okay? In my opinion. Although, they said plus 500 plus horsepower with the Shelby GT350, and we end up with a vehicle that, turned out 526, 536, somewhere around there. And so for me, I don't know. I don't know how much that plus means, but let's remember also, guys, that we had a teaser that came out right before the unveil or the reveal that they were going to be building the Shelby GT500. This is end of December, I believe, of 17. You have them coming out and saying, listen, guys, they leaked these photos. One had 460 or 455, which was supposedly the horsepower of the brand new 18 update Mustang. And then you have the 772 that was in the Easter egg that's supposed to be representative of the horsepower of the Shelby GT350 or Shelby 500. So, I mean, guys, am I just going to ignore the fact that all of this came from Ford? That's not a makeup. That's not a made up number. The statements that were made about Shelby, that were made by Shelby America, at the Barrett-Jackson Auto Show when they were selling off the Ford GT, those are legitimate statements. Those are from people representing the manufacturers. And, those statements ring, in my opinion, a little bit more true than just some assumption of a paper that was released. So also, you have the horsepower issue, and then you have, the sub 11 second number. Now, I got hooked on that and kind of got myself exhausted by that notion because I'm just like, this is bullshit. But let's clarify, guys. 11 seconds, sub 11 means sub 11. That could be 9s. That could be 7s. There's no limitation on it. It's not like he said it will run in the 11s or it will run in the 10s. If you say that, you're saying, okay, in this bracket, It's not going to run a 9.8. It's not going to run a 11.1. It's going to run a 10. It's going to run in the 10s. So it's bracketing it off. He never bracketed it off. He said from 11 down is open. We have not committed to a number. They're saying 700 plus. That might mean 798 horsepower. So they're vast numbers, but I think it's a tactic from Ford to make the other manufacturers like Dodge, Chevy, for them to get kind of not really nervous, but like make fun of the car. And here's the thing, we're making fun of a car and we have people talking shit about a car that we have zero information on, really. We know it has a DCT, great. We know that it's going to do, in the 3-second range, mid threes. Well, there's a lot of cars that are super freaking fast that, they're pushing like 3.2 0 to 60. So that doesn't, that's not everything. So I want to kind of back up what I said. I'm not dancing it off completely. I just, think that maybe I need to take a second look at it. And the more information that I'm hearing about the fact that I think, honest to God, guys, when they say that Venom kills demons, they were specifically pointing out a brand and a vehicle. Okay? They chose the Dodge Demon. And in that situation where they did that, I have a feeling that they can't walk it back. You wouldn't want to walk that back. You wouldn't want to stick your foot in your mouth. And they did that. So my only assumption is, okay, then there must be a drag mode, right? And we know there's a drag mode based off of the selector. So as that goes, I'm still going to stick to my guns, guys, when I've previously said, okay, in my 2020 Shelby GT500, my assumptions, that there is going to be a variant that when you take the selector and put it on drag, that you can do exactly like the Demon, and you can put race fuel in it, and you can now select that, and it will literally take and up the horsepower. So say let's say it's 772, and then with that it brings it up to like 835. I think that's a possibility. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I don't know where you would come from. If you're talking about in the 10s, which everybody is assuming that it's going to run like a mid 10 or a high 10. I don't know why he would make that assumption and make that statement, that bold statement of Venom kills demons. I don't see that, guys. I don't understand why you would do that. So I think that there's a lot more there, and they keep saying it's not just a one-trick pony, guys. So we have, people are saying that you have the fact that it's, for one, it's built around horsepower, and it's built around multiple different track applications, whether it be track, whether it be strip. It is going to be very versatile in that sense. And so with that, I think this thing is going to be a monster. And I think that Ford is just sitting back and watching everybody squirm and laughing their ass off. And then when they release official numbers, I think everybody's going to be really blown away. So if you guys agree with me, make sure you hit that comment section and let me know, yeah, I agree, man, or any differences of opinion. If you like this video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. And as always, guys, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you guys keep up to date with every time that I post a video. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video.